I've made tacos, nachos, burritos, but I've never made you taquitos. These are absolutely delicious. Now they're like a burrito, but we fry the tortillas so we get a gorgeous crispy shell. I love to use chuck steak when I make my chili con carne because it goes really soft after cooking for a long time. I'm only adding a small amount of meat to this because I'll be adding some beans later on. Now I'm just sealing off the chuck steak. Look at that. That's what we're looking for, a nice caramelization on the meat. I've also seasoned it with some salt. And once we get some colour, just remove it from the pan and then we can start adding some onion and some capsicum. So I'll add some extra olive oil and then some finely chopped onion and 1 capsicum that's been finely chopped also. That can go in at the same time. And I want to cook these down until they get slightly caramelised and soften. Give them a quick stir. Look at those gorgeous colours. Fantastic. Great. Now I'll season this with a generous pinch of salt and some freshly cracked pepper. Now give yourself some time to caramelise this off because it's going to impart a gorgeous sweet flavour. So you can see how we're getting some colour there and they're softening. Now, instead of adding many different spices to this, like cumin and paprika, I'm going to use one single ingredient that is going to impart a gorgeous smoky flavour and a hint of spice. This is chipotle in adobo sauce, and you can get it from most supermarkets. It comes in a really rich tomato sauce that's smoky and spicy. And I've used 1 chilli, finely chopped it, and mixed it with some of the sauce. Now that this is caramelised, we'll add this. And then we'll toast it off with the onions and capsicum. Okay, now it's time to add the meat back to the pan. And then if there's any juices on the plate, add them to the pan because that's flavour. And now we need to submerge the meat in some liquid so it cooks and stays really moist. I like the combination of crushed tomatoes and some stock. You could use some veggie stock, chicken stock or beef stock is fine. And then just give that a stir. Now the lid goes on and I'll turn the heat down, and this is going to cook for 1 hour or until the meat starts to fall apart. At this stage I'll add some kidney beans and cook it for a further 20 minutes. How great is this meat looking? See how it just falls apart when I separate it with my fork. Now you can see also the sauce is thickened up because we've cooked it down with the beans. The beans also help thicken up the sauce. Now to start making our taquitos, I'm going to use some tortillas. These ones are really pliable, so they're going to roll into the perfect cylinder. So we'll take some of our meat and get a nice combination of sauce and beans, and we'll just place this in a nice long line, just leaving a 2 centimetre border. And now we're just going to roll them up very carefully, and then we want the seam on the base, just like that. Now I've been heating some extra virgin olive oil, and once it's hot we can carefully add the tortillas to the pan. Now because it's nice and hot, it's going to seal the base so none of the mixture falls out. And I'm going to cook these for about 1 to 2 minutes on each side, or until they're really crispy on the outside. Okay, the last of the taquitos are coming out of the oil. I've just got some paper toweling just to drain them off. You can see they've sealed nicely. If you want some extra assurance, you could just place some toothpicks into the seam, but just make sure you take them out before you start to serve them. Okay, I like to serve this on a bed of shredded lettuce, but you can do shredded cucumber or even coleslaw works really nicely with this. So just with a sharp knife, shred a crunchy lettuce like iceberg, or this is some baby cos, and we want a generous handful per serving. Perfect. And now just to season this, I'll add some lime juice, just a squeeze over the top, and we'll just mix that up and place that onto a plate and just spread it out just like that. And now we'll rest one of these taquitos on top. And then my favorite toppings are sour cream. I'll add a teaspoon over the top and you can just spread it over and it'll start to melt because those taquitos are still really hot. Then some finely chopped tomatoes over the top. And now to finally crown this gorgeous taquito, I'm going to use some feta. It's very similar in taste and texture to a fresh Mexican style cheese, and I like to just sprinkle that over the top. You could also use some freshly grated cheddar. And then I'll add a chunk of lime on the side. And that is such a brilliant way to use tortillas. This is a very classic dish from Mexico. What I love about it most is it's like a burrito, but it's even better because it's got a crunchy outside. And then all those toppings, oh, yummo.